Good evening, good afternoon. How are you doing? Thank you all for coming and hearing of the news. I'm just here to give you some information that you may not have heard out here in the news sphere. So thank you for joining me. Hit the like button if you like what you're hearing. And, let's get into it. Now, we have all heard this Cash Patel situation. We are all caught up on that. He totally messed up his whole case when he was doing that press conference with Todd Blanche. But I only caught the end of the press conference with Todd Blanche. I only saw him fuddling around and messing up his own case, Cockeyed Patel. What I did not even understand until yesterday evening that the Justice Department has filed a lawsuit against the Southern Poverty Law Center. You know, the Southern Poverty Law Center that has helped represent people who were wrongly accused, help people keep their civil rights, fought all of these fights for civil rights, and now this Trump Department of Justice is trying to say that the Southern Poverty Law Center was money launderer. This is what they came out to announce that day. If you guys are aware of that, I don't know, but I want you to understand that had not it been for the Southern Poverty Law Center, a lot of people, civil rights would have been abused, and a lot of people would have wound up in jail. They also represented a lot of people who were poor, who did not have the ability to obtain any type of attorney, much less a good attorney. They also represented these people. So, the case that they are bringing against the Southern Poverty Law Center are, quite peculiar. They're trying to get them on some big RICO type charges where they can make charges way larger than what they really are. So let's understand that this case came about in Alabama. In Alabama, known for their racist ways and policies. So, Alabama bought a case against the Southern Poverty Law Center. So now, your Attorney General, your acting Attorney General, Todd Blanche is out here talking about how horrible the Southern Poverty Law Center was, and that they were paying off Klan members. Now, we do know that this Justice Department pardoned or gave clemency to all of the January 6 rioters. These are known people who are known members of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. Known members of these radical racist groups. They got clemency and a pardon as they try to overturn the election for their cult leader, in my opinion. But now they're trying to say that a law center that was representing poor minorities was supporting the Klan and other racist groups. What they were doing was they were doing like any group does that is trying to infiltrate these clans and these other groups. What they were doing was they were paying informants. They paid informants to go in and infiltrate these groups. And how does the FBI know that they were paying these informants? How do they know? Because they communicated this to the FBI. So you get Cockeye Patel in, and he's in trouble. A story comes out about him in the Atlantic, about him being a lush, about them having to use a battering ram to open his home door because there's no response for him, about all the days that he shows up to work drunk and obviously smelling drunk, looking drunk, being drunk, all of the days that he has taken off work, no call, no shows, and he's the head of the FBI. All the firings he did on for retribution, the lawsuits that agents have against the FBI for their illegal firings. So when the story comes out here about him in Atlantic, they want to make you feel like this motherfucker has been doing something. So they say that, okay, we're gonna sue the Southern Poverty Law Center because they were paying the Klan. And they trotted their ass out here, and told you just that. Let's review their little press conference that they gave, and then we're going to talk about it. Hit the like button or double tap your screen if you're watching on your phone. I would appreciate this. So let's get into their little press conference and what they presented to the public.
Good afternoon. Today, a few minutes ago, in the Middle District of Alabama, a grand jury returned an 11-count indictment charging the Southern Poverty Law Center with 6 counts of wire fraud, 4 counts of bank fraud, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering. According to the charges in the indictment, the SPLC is a nonprofit entity that purports to fight white supremacy and racial hatred by reporting on extremist groups and conducting research to inform law enforcement groups with the goal of dismantling these groups. As the indictment describes, the SPLC was not dismantling these groups. It was instead manufacturing the extremism it purports to oppose by paying sources to stoke racial hatred. The indictment describes this conduct in detail, but one troubling example is that the SPLC was paying a member of the leadership group that planned the Unite the Right protest in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017 that resulted in the death of 1 person and injured dozens more. This particular person being paid by the SPLC allegedly received approximately $270,000 over the course of 8 years. In total, according to the indictment, between 2014 and 2023, SPLC paid at least $3 million to 8 individuals at least. These individuals were affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan, United Klans of America, National Socialist Movement, Aryan Nations Affiliated Sadistic Souls Motorcycle Club, the Nationalist Socialist Party of America, Nazis, and the American Front.
Okay. So these are all these white nationalist groups. Okay. So they are aware. Your Department of Justice just let you know that they are aware of all of these white nationalists and all of these hate groups. But the question is, what are you doing about it? Aren't you the Department of Justice? Why is it up to the poverty center, law center, to do something about these groups? The Southern Poverty Law Center, why is it their job to do something about these groups that you are well aware of? And see, the point that you're making about them paying them to continue their the things that they were doing for that march in Charlottesville. What is your point about the march in Charlottesville? Because I am quite sure that your president, your boss, said that there were great people on both sides. So if indeed that there were great people on both sides, why are you upset that they were helping the people who organized that march? You cannot have it both ways. So are we to believe that the Southern Poverty Law Center was money laundering money to get these marches started? Let's continue. And another question I have. If this, since they know that these radical groups are out here, they're well aware of them, why did they take them off of the terror watch list that the FBI told them that they needed to be on? Why then did Pam Bimbo, your prior boss, if you know about these bad people in the Southern Poverty Law Center is supposed to be helping these bad people, why did you take them off of your watch list? Let's continue. We're not playing games.
Now, as the indictment lays out, after SPLC paid members of these extremist groups, it created work product that reported on these activities that the members participated in or contributed to. And to
So, after they paid them, they got information on these groups. They created work product. They got information and they collected information that they got from these groups. So it was futile. Them paying informants rendered information to them. And what?
that end, it was doing the exact opposite of what it's told its donors it was doing. Not dismantling extremism, but funding it. To carry out this scheme, SPLC
Not dismantling, but funding it. Because they collected information that you and your officers and your FBI, CIA, Department of Justice, sheriffs, police officers did not do. So how are they funding it? How are they further funding it? When they're getting information, when they're having to pay information, informants to get information that our Justice Department has no interest in getting. They're trying to make a case to bring to you because we know if we just make a complaint, if we just tell you exactly who did it, you gonna come back and say, "Oh, we don't have enough to make a case. We don't have enough to make a case." So these people are paying people to give you undeniable information that you can't turn these cases away. But they are helping funding these groups. Let me tell you, these groups were around in America long before the Southern Poverty Law Group was in America. Because these groups were around, it's the reason why the Southern Poverty Law Group was created. So, let's continue.
created bank accounts in the name of at least 5 it's told its donors it was doing. Not dismantling.
Hold on.
After SPLC paid members of these extremist groups, it created work product that reported on these activities that the members participated in or contributed to. And to that end, it was doing the exact opposite of what it's told its donors it was doing. Not dismantling extremism, but funding it.
So, you're here to protect the donors. You are here to protect the donors to the Southern Poverty Law Center. Is that who you're here to? Did the donors go into Alabama and complain that they wasn't getting what they put their money to? Did the donors make a complaint? Are you gonna list any complaints from the donors? Since you're saying the donors didn't get what they were donating their law to, did the donors who donated their money to 45, 47 after he bombards their emails with requests and this is urgent and we must do this, be a gold member, be the only person who gets this gold coin because you're a treasured member, and if you send me 25, did they get what they donated for? Did they get any lower costs? Did they get any their grocery bills go down? Did they get America first? Did those donors get what was promised to them? But uh, but they're not complaining. So obviously, the people who donated to the Southern Poverty Law Center must be complaining. You must have a myriad of complaints that you're going to list off and tell us how dissatisfied the donors felt and how the donors felt that they were being ripped off. Obviously, this is going to be part of your claim, right? Let's continue.
Carry out this scheme, SPLC created bank accounts in the name of at least 5 completely fictitious organizations that had no bona fide employees or legitimate business purpose. The money was passed from SPLC to one sham account to a second sham account and then loaded onto prepaid cards to give to the members of the extremist groups. This was
So they made the money that they were given to these extremist groups hard to trace back to them. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? So let's be clear. Were they supposed to make it easier for them to trace it back to them and the people who were being informants lose their lives because the money was so easily traced back to the Southern Poverty Law Center? Was it supposed to be easy for does the FBI, when they use informants, I assume that they make it easy to see, hey, if somebody goes into your business, see where you got this cash app, see where you got this cash card, you can see it came from Cash Patel at the FBI. Is that what they supposed to do? When they have people undercover? Is that something that people do to protect the lives of people that they have undercover, Todd? I'm curious. I'm very curious. Why we playing the game? So what Todd Blanche is trying to what Todd Blanche is trying to do is to get people who may need lawyers, like the lawyers at the Southern Poverty Law Group, to have nowhere to go. Let's be real clear on what this is about. It is taking away your representation of people who are willing to go in and fight your cases. So they can continue to do whatever they want to do. This is the whole premise of this. You guys have been getting on our nerves for too long. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have been sued for this case, that case. You guys are making us look bad. Let's be clear.
designed to shield the source of those funds, and because of this, SPLC is also charged with one count, as I said earlier, of conspiracy to commit money laundering. In conclusion, I want to thank the acting U.S. Attorney in the Middle District of Alabama, Kevin Davidson, who's in his district right now and not able to be with us, for bringing this important case, along with the FBI team in Alabama for their hard work during this investigation. This investigation is ongoing, and I'd like to ask Director Patel to say a few words as well.
Thank you, General Blanche. What we're here today is to announce what the General just told you. The Southern Poverty Law Center, in a massive, sweeping indictment, has been charged with allegations of fraud and using the banking system to perpetrate that fraud. I just want to talk about a couple of brief things here. The Southern Poverty Law Center themselves advertise to raise money to dismantle violent extremist groups for a period of at least a decade. They use their donor network to raise money to purportedly dismantle violent extremist groups. However, the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, used the money they raised from their donor network to actually pay the leadership of these very groups. I just want to say that again. They used the fraudulently raised money by lying to their donor network, thousands of Americans, to go ahead and actually pay the leadership of these supposed.
Now, Kai Patel is lying to you that they're paying the leadership. What is the game for them? What is the game for the Southern Poverty Law Center to pay leaders and take your money, your donor money that has kept them afloat? They have been around since the 60s. So you mean now they're paying these clan, the grand dragons of the clan? What's in that for them? What is in that for them? How do they get clients by paying the clan? Do you mean the clan's gonna send them clients? Boy, bye.
Violent extremist groups. The groups, as the general laid out, include the Ku Klux Klan, the United Klans of America, Unite to Right, National Alliance, the National Socialist Movement, the Aryan Nation Motorcycle Club, and the National Socialist Party of America, and also the American Front. In at least one of these matters, our investigation revealed that funds were used to facilitate the commission of further state and federal offenses, totaling over $3 million.
$3 million.
Furthermore, our investigation revealed that the
Wait a
Southern
minute.
Poverty Law Center, on top of perpetuating this wide...
Did he say a whole whopping $3 million? $3 million. This administration that is that only talks in billion. Your own president is suing the Treasury for $10 billion. I know goddamn well he didn't come out here and say something about $3 million. You have used that company jet to fly your bitch around and cost the taxpayers way more than $3 million in the first year that you have been over the FBI. But you are saying that someone here to protect and to represent poor and minority people have scoundreled with $3 million by paying the Ku Klux Klan, the same people who they are defending their clients against. Okay, Cash. Okay, go ahead on.
Spread, decade-long, multi-million-dollar fraud conducted more criminal activity. They attempted to hide their criminal activity from our financial banking network. They set up shell companies and entities around America so that the financial institutions that we rely on as everyday Americans were deceived in believing that money was not coming from the Southern Poverty Law Center in the perpetration of this scheme and fraud, but rather fictitious entities they stood up to perpetuate this ongoing fraud. This is
okay. So they took money and they hid the money. They hid where the source of the money was coming from, so they could perpetrate a fraud. Is that okay? So I understand what you're saying. They did now. So they didn't want people to know where this money was coming from, but they put it in banks. They set up different shells. Now, even Todd Blanche didn't say anything about setting up shell companies. Todd Blanche said that they put money in the bank and then they opened up 2 different names and then they paid people out by this. Now we got shell companies involved in this, right? Okay, and we're talking about a total amount of what did he say? $3 million. In the meantime, in between time, let's look at this, why don't we? In the meantime, while all of this is going on in Alabama, what's going on under your nose, Kakai Patel? Maybe you can't see what's going on right under your nose. Can you, Kakai Patel? Let's see what's going on under your nose. Ozzy replies to Trump rant about NATO not being there for us. You can run a country with 600,000 homeless people sleeping on the streets tonight. A country where 40% of the adults can't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing money. Is this the one I wanted? This may not. Wait a minute. This may not be the one I wanted. Okay. I apologize. This isn't the one I wanted. But let's finish. We'll finish this later. That's not the exact one I wanted. Let me go back. I apologize. Ozzy is reading him for the facts of his life, but that is not the one I wanted. Let me go find the one that I wanted. Bear with me for a second. And we're going to talk about what is strange that this Kakai Patel in your Justice Department is overlooking. Here we go. Is this it? No, that's not it. I apologize. I should have saved it. Hold on 1 second. One second. Oh God, I don't think I can find it. Oh, oh well, I can't find it. Let me see. Let me see if I can. I'll put it in. It's about the donors to the ballroom and how Trump has been hiding the donors to his ballroom, and he doesn't even want you to know. Here it is. Here it is. This is what I want to share with you right here. While we are talking about a law firm that represents poor people to make sure that their civil rights are not being trampled over and ignored by police officers and sheriffs in these different little small town in what is it, Arkansas. Uh, do we understand why Arkansas may be interested in the Southern Poverty Law Center? Yeah, because they probably had so many lawsuits up their ass for them ignoring the damage that has been done to the citizen by these radical right hate groups. So let me share this with you. But this is happening right there here in Washington, and they talking about $3 million. But let's see what's happening right there in Washington, D.C. The Trump administration contract governing hundreds of millions of dollars in private donations to build President Trump's White House ballroom shields donors' identity, excludes the White House from conflict of interest protections, and was disclosed only after a lawsuit and a judge's order. Records obtained by the Washington Post show an agreement establishing the legal and financial framework for the planned $400 million undertaking, the most significant change to the White House in decades, was signed in early October, less than 2 weeks before the demolition crews started destroying the East Wing. So you mean to tell me, uh, uh, 2 weeks after the demolition started, 2 weeks after the idea happened. Do you think that he had not already talked to these donors and then decided to tear the White House down as quickly as 2 weeks? Do not think he had already had this money put set aside? So if he had this money set aside, where was it set aside? Who are these donors? Isn't this the same thing that they are accusing the now? I don't think that there's any complaints from the donors in this Southern Poverty Law Center. We know there are no complaints in this ballroom. We know there are no complaints. There are just more people giving and giving and giving. But the question is, what do the donors who are giving to the Southern Poverty Law Center have to gain? What are they getting personally out of this? Or are they just looking for our justice system to work fairly for everyone if they have money or not? But is it the same thing? Well, so the people who want the big, beautiful ballroom just want to be sure that the people's house has a big, beautiful place for everyone to come sit down and enjoy the few fruits of America? No. This is not for everyone. But justice, which is supposed to be presented, is supposed to be for everyone, even poor people. This is what your Department of Justice is supposed to ensure. Thus, you have the woman balancing the books, and you notice what is never balanced. The fucking weights are never balanced. So this is why you have to have groups like the Southern Poverty Law Center to help balance justice for the poor and minorities in this racist country. And who are they? Who are they going after? Trying to get information on racist groups that your government allows to thrive and continue for decades in this country, while they sit up and tell you this isn't a racist country. This isn't a racist country. While as your ancestor fought for the rights for you to have the jobs in the same places where other people have jobs, you got this administration came in office and said you only got hired because of DEI. You're not qualified. You have you have Pete Kegbreath over there firing 4-star, 5-star generals. Come to find out, the two generals that he fired the commander of the army over, because the commander of the army disagreed with him, and he said that the people he Kegbreath wanted to take off of the list to get 1 star were two black women. A double dose of what he don't want in the service. Women and black people. And to give them a star, and I tell you to take their name off the list to get a star, and you don't do it, I'ma fire you. Now, then this is what your Justice Department has to look at. Let me finish this. Okay. The contract provisions taken together allow wealthy donors with business before the federal government to contribute anonymously to a sitting president's pet project while exempting. Where is that? Hold on 1 second. Is it still showing? Okay. Here we go. The Trump administration White House ballroom contract shields donors' identities. Okay, here we go. The President Trump knew he was going to tear down the East Wing at least 2 months before doing so, court documents show. But he never told the public. White House officials have declined to disclose the total amount raised, the identities of the donors, or until recently, basic details about the White House ballroom design. There is only one good explanation why Trump's ultra wealthy ballroom donors want to stay anonymous. They have something to hide, says Senator Elizabeth Warren. Okay. White House officials said no publicly post. The White House officials said not publicly posting contracts was standard practice for contracts involving the executive residence, citing security concerns. This isn't your residence. This is the East Wing. You live in the West Wing. Let's be real clear. They also said he also said offering anonymity for donors was standard for significant projects, and framed the use of the private funds as a benefit for taxpayers. Did you get your benefits? Did you get your benefit? Did you get your benefit? Let's see who this is really going to benefit. Dozens of the project's known donors collectively have billions of dollars in federal contracts before the administration. Critics have argued that allowing anonymous gifts to a sitting president's signature project creates precisely the kind of conflict the contract itself states to states it seeks to prevent. The contract was signed as work on a ballroom project was already underway. It was signed while work on the ballroom was already underway. 12 days after it was signed, demolition crews started tearing down the East Wing. The existence of the contract was not disclosed at the time. Trump is pushing to finish it before the end of his second term in 2029. So now we see that these billionaires have hundreds of billions of dollars in contracts. What is it? Dozens of the project's known donors collectively have billions of dollars in federal contracts before the administration. Before the administration means that these contracts are still needing to be approved, but they are chasing down the Southern Poverty Law Center for protecting poor people. This is what this administration is up to. So I just wanted to be sure to show you that. I really wanted to make sure I showed you that. So let's see what exactly does the Southern Poverty Law Center do for you. Hey, the Bushes. Oh, bye, Dusty. You have the right name, Dusty. A plan was already in place. The public just wasn't aware. Exactly. Hey, Tim Smith, thank you for being here. Being saying for years that the Trump agenda is the seabed. He ain't interested in bedding down anywhere else. I concur. I concur. So let me give you more information about the Southern Poverty Law Center that you may want to know from the president of the Southern Poverty Law Center. I'll try. I'll go to him and let's get into it. Here we go.
There is brand new reporting from the New York Times that has broken since we've been on the.
I'll get to that in a few. I want to share with you this though. This is from, I believe this is from Roland Martin. The links to everything that I leave are in my description box. I just want you to hear from the president of the Southern Poverty Law Center and what he has to say about this lawsuit that was brought against them. I hope my computer is not acting up. Oh God. Oh goodness. Don't do this. Wrong time, wrong place. Hold on 1 second. I may have to reboot this page. I have so many tabs open. I apologize. But I just want you to hear what he has to say. He said he is not afraid of this lawsuit. He says, bring it on. Let's reboot this page. Here we go. So let's get into it. Let me share this with you. Okay, here we go.
All right, we have some breaking news that just came down. The Southern Poverty Law Center has just been indicted by the Trump Justice Department. Now, this is something that we were going to be covering anyway. This is a Montgomery-based civil rights group, as you know. And just to catch you up a little bit in terms of what happened before, in a video message that was posted online, the center CEO, Brian Fair, he's already said that he believed that this was coming. He believed that federal investigators were preparing to take legal action against some of his employees, stemming from their use of paid confidential sources to infiltrate and report on violent white supremacists and other extremist groups. And he vowed that the group would not be intimidated or silenced. Well, now the Department of Justice, as I just told you, this is breaking news. The Southern Poverty Law Center says that they have just been indicted. Let's hear a little bit of a soundbite from Brian Fair, the CEO.
For 55 years, the Southern Poverty Law Center has stood as a beacon of hope, fighting white supremacy and various forms of injustice to create a multiracial democracy where we can all live and thrive. We are therefore unsurprised to be the latest organization targeted by this administration. They have made no secret of who they want to protect and who they want to destroy. For example, in October, FBI Director Kash Patel announced the Bureau would sever its ties with the SPLC. And in December, House Republicans held a hearing to accuse us of being partisan and profitable. The latest threat is the most serious: a criminal investigation and possible charges against the SPLC or some of our employees. Although we don't know all the details, the focus appears to be on the SPLC's prior use of paid confidential informants to gather credible intelligence on extremely violent groups. This use of informants was necessary because we are no stranger to threats of violence. In 1983, our offices were firebombed, and in the years since, there have been countless credible threats against our staff. For decades, we engaged in unprecedented litigation to dismantle the Klan and other hate groups. In light of that work, we sought to protect the safety of our staff and the public. We frequently shared what we learned from informants with local and federal law enforcement, including the FBI. We did not, however, share our use of informants broadly with anyone to protect the identity and safety of the informants and their families. And while we no longer work with paid informants, we continue to take their safety seriously. These individuals risked their lives to infiltrate and inform on the activities of our nation's most radical and violent extremist groups. When we began working with informants, we were living in the shadow of the height of the civil rights movement, which had seen bombings at churches, state-sponsored violence against demonstrators, and the murders of activists that went unanswered by the justice system. There is no question that what we learned from informants saved lives. Today, the federal government has been weaponized to dismantle the rights of our nation's most vulnerable people, and any organization like ours that tries to stand in the breach. We stood in the vanguard then, and we stand in the vanguard today. We will not be intimidated into silence or contrition, and we will not abandon our mission or the communities we serve. This moment in history finds Americans in a critical struggle between those who continue to pull and bend the arc of history toward justice and those who resist progress. We will vigorously defend ourselves, our staff, and our work. We will continue to fight hate, and we will continue to seek a safer and more just world. We trust that the many people and organizations who share our commitment to defending civil society will stand with us as together we fight injustice. Thank you.
Okay, you can see the rest of this commentary on Roland Martin's page. The link is in my description box. Now, on a personal note, this is something that I feel is important for me to do. I feel that the Southern Poverty Law Center has been here for centuries. What did he say? Over 50 years? Over half of my life. I'm just 25, right? I feel that it is important that me as an individual that has benefited from the Southern Poverty Law Center being here, even though I have not individually had a case that they needed to fight for me. The fact that they have fought cases for other people like me have made my life much easier. And now that they are fighting for their future, I think that it is important for me to do what those before me have done to help them fight cases for poor people and disenfranchised people and minorities. I am going to make a donation to their group. You can do what you want to do. You can do what is important to you. You can donate to people on YouTube who are just sitting up here blabbering their mouth, not impacting, not helping, not doing anything for you and how you live your life. But I am going to personally make a donation for those who have fought for my existence here in the United States to be a better place than what it was for my ancestors. So, hey, Very Carey. Uh, it was founded in 1971 in Montgomery, Alabama. Thank you, John Reed. Okay. Exactly. So I just wanted to highlight that because, I just caught the end of the press conference. And last night when I found out what they were announcing in that press conference, I was just taken. It really, par for the course. Par for the course for this administration to try to sully something like the Southern Poverty Law Center as they give pardons to people who actually attack the Capitol and try to disenfranchise everyone by trying to block the election process in 2020. So there's one other attorney who spoke
All right,
about
welcome
this.
to today's Qualified.
I'm gonna move forward a little bit on her, um, just a little bit. Her link will be in the description box too, under Southern Poverty Law Center suit in my description box.
But they have a hard time working with people who are from communities of color. Who allegedly is drunk all the time. And Todd Blanche, who is Donald Trump's former personal attorney, what they are doing, who allegedly is drunk all the time.
Hold on.
And
I apologize.
Communities of color, but they have a hard time working with people who are from communities of color within the.
Now she's an attorney, and she says even though every okay, the link will be in my description box.
Organization on a peer-to-peer level. So I'm not here to say that the Southern Poverty Law Center is beyond reproach. What I am saying is what the Department of Justice with Crazy Eye Cash Patel, who allegedly is drunk all the time, and Todd Blanche, who is Donald Trump's former personal attorney, what they are doing is basically think of how RICO charges were the way to get at the mob. Well, they're trying to do that with nonprofits that support poor people, Black folks, immigrants, and also they are trying to come down on the side of racist organizations like the Klan, like neo-Nazis, using novel legal attempts. Just like RICO is a novel legal argument, and this is their attempt at doing that. And they said they were going to do that. So this was really their first big salvo in that war, which is why Democrats have to stop talking about, well, let's not talk about a culture war. Baby, they are in the middle of a war with us, and nobody seems to be noticing. So what the Department of Justice is doing, and this is really interesting because this former federal prosecutor said, and this is from The Guardian, he says, it's very odd to charge a corporate entity with these crimes. And basically, they're saying they were money laundering and wire fraud. And the former federal prosecutor who handled financial crimes, he said to prove wire fraud, well, you have to show the defendant had intended to defraud. And basically what the government is saying is, oh, people donated money. And at one point, the Southern Poverty Law Center had a program to infiltrate these hate groups. And they paid informants to infiltrate the hate groups, which is not unheard of. And they actually had a tight relationship with the FBI, where they would share information about, they plan to blow up this building, they plan to go to this rally and do damage, and the FBI would intervene. So the reason the FBI knows about this is because they had a longstanding relationship where the Southern Poverty Law Center did this type of, activity to infiltrate these organizations. But what the Department of Justice is saying is, oh, you defrauded donors and you gave material funding to a hate group. Now, on the face of it, it sounds like, oh, the Justice Department is on the side of stopping hate groups. No, the Justice Department is playing a too cute, too smart by half game with the law. They are trying to create a ridiculous argument that the Southern Poverty Law Center defrauded donors by paying informants in these right-wing vicious organizations to get information. And a lot of this comes down to the fact that they are mad that the Southern Poverty Law Center included Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk as right-wing extremists, which they are. And so as a result, they seek to punish nonprofits that do this. And so, I mean, this is something I may not be explaining it clearly enough.
Oh, sweetheart, you are explaining it crystal clear. They have included Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk as right-wing extremists. The same Turning Point USA that they're trying to stuff down the mouths and the throats of children in every school. Now they wanted to every college in the United States. Now they want to bring it to every high school in the United States. The Charlie Kirk that they let lie in repose in the Capitol building, but they would not let Jesse Jackson. They refused to let Jesse Jackson lie in there. The same Jesse Jackson that negotiated to get our military hostages freed. Yeah. Sister, you are crystal clear. The same Charlie Kirk they were wrangling their hands over, and the same Charlie Kirk that after his death they made this NSPM7 that figured out ways to determine United States citizens as, what did they want to call us? Domestic terrorists. All of this came behind Charlie Kirk. A easy way to vaguely say vague terms like you're anti-Christian, you're anti-capitalist, you're anti-traditional families. All of these notes that that's kind of vague. What is anti-Christian? What is I don't care. We're going to say that that's what you are, and therefore you are a domestic terrorist. But I haven't committed any domestic terrorism or crimes. But see, the good thing about that NSPM7, they talk about pre-crimes. What is a pre-crime? That is they're saying that, hey, you haven't committed the crime yet, but we have still have marked you as a domestic terrorist based on what you do. Not the crimes you commit, based on what you do, who you are, what protesters you go to, what social media statements that you give a like to. We're going to put you in the category of a domestic terrorist because, you show pre-crime tendencies. Now, if you're not familiar with NSPM7, go over to Ken Klippenstein. I'm gonna drop his link in the chat because see, these are the things that you should be knowing about. You should be knowing that the government have set up camps for your children. These are the things you should, and these are the things that comes with receipts. You can be sure that his reporting always comes with receipts. He always have a receipt from some government agency about the story he is speaking on. And please, I beg you to read up on NSPM7. Your media is not talking a lot about this. This is a very dangerous order that your president signed into law. Very well, Congress is supposed to make law, but we're neither here nor there within the making of laws under this administration. Okay, this is the executive order that your president signed. So I hope you guys go over there and read some of the things that this administration has in store for you. There's the link right there. Please tap the screen twice and give this video a thumbs up. Yes, I thank you very, Carrie. So let's continue.
But what I'm trying to say here is they are trying to use the law to prevent an organization that tries to stop hate groups from stopping hate groups. And they're trying to pretend that that organization funded hate groups. Do you see the game of Twister they're playing? But basically, they are intervening on the side of race-based hate groups. And they intend to do this. And I mean, they knew, the Southern Poverty Law Center knew this was coming, apparently. And they are saying that, they were lying to donors that the money was being used to dismantle violent extremist groups because some of the informants used the money to fund the extremist groups. Sir, ma'am, whoever you are, however you express yourself, that's bananas. The money was used by the informant, however the money was used, but the information the informant gave was what was key. And the way they are trying to be too cute by half, that they are trying to, be on the side of donors. What donor? Who are they suing on behalf of? And talking about they lied to banks and all this kind of stuff. To establish that an entire corporate entity had an intent to defraud is extraordinarily difficult. That's what the federal prosecutor is saying. And the thing of it is, I don't think, and the prosecutor doesn't think they can prove their case at trial. But what they are trying to do is signal, like the bat signal. See, I'm gonna come back to that bat signal because remember I told y'all Donald Trump dressed as Jesus was a bat signal. This is a bat signal for the election. They are electioneering. They are telling white nationalists, white supremacists, former Christian white nationalists who are now religious white nationalists that they are on their side and they are willing to sue and prosecute and persecute organizations that go after them, that go after race-based organizations. This is crazy. And the way Southern Poverty Law Center explained it is that they started to use informants because in 1983, their offices were firebombed and they had credible threats against their staff, which they always had. I talked about this before, but when white people do work on the side of Black people, they are really in danger. I mean, or when they go up against the system of white supremacy, like what we saw in Minnesota on behalf of immigrants, they will try to kill you. So this is why the Southern Poverty Law Center started engaging informants. And so last year, the FBI said they were going to end a long-standing relationship with the Southern Poverty Law Center because, you know what? They don't care if white supremacists threaten to blow us up, shoot us up, or bomb us. They are not interested. They don't even have any intelligence in those organizations anymore. And what they are telling those organizations, you are okay. You're free to operate. You're free to do whatever you want. And if you don't think that's a message for the midterms, we're talking about the Klan. We're talking about neo-Nazis. We're talking about serious, serious organizations, okay?
Okay, so she is an attorney. Go over there and visit her page. The Shy Done. The Shari Done. Okay, let me, I'm going to, her link is in the chat for this video. And it's on my description box. Let me drop the link in the chat. Go over there and I just hope you go over there and listen to people who can give you real information, how it is based in actual law as opposed to hyperbole or what I think and I don't know what I'm talking about. This is a real attorney. Yes, correct. and they are trying to protect their people. See, because they know they love the uneducated voter, so they know if they get a uneducated white supremacist out here harassing you at the polling stations, if they get ICE out here and white supremacists out here running amok and harassing you and being in your face, what is the likelihood that they're going to have to shut this whole country down? And like they said they were going to do in Project 2025, what is the likelihood of stirring up this comfortability in white nationalists that this whole country will be put on a shutdown? That's all I'm saying. Hey, that green vegan. It is good to see you. I know a little something, something, but I will not act like I'm alone in this. I will direct you to where I get this information from, because it's not about me. It's about giving information. That's all I want to do, is share information with you. Now, the information I want to share with you is about they fired the guy who was over the Navy. It's a big brouhaha. A big brouhaha. That is the U.S. Navy secretary fired comes after Navy personnel. Wait a minute. Hold on. This may not be the one I want. I want to talk about the guy who was fired from the Navy. Yeah, that's the only one. Okay, so I want to talk about him. And you guys may not remember when he got his position. When he got his position, I thought that something was awful strange that he got this position in the first place. U.S. Navy Secretary fired comes after Navy personnel blocked the Strait of Hormuz. Now, it also has come out that Hegseth was not fond of this Navy commander. So let's hear the story, and let me remind you of the story I gave you when he was hired.
And everything around the war in Iran. The Secretary of the U.S. Navy fired from his job in the middle of it all. He's the latest top military official forced out of the Pentagon during a war.
Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps says that it seized 2 ships crossing the Strait of Hormuz, but the White House says it does not consider the actions a violation of the ceasefire.
Yeah, meanwhile, a new report claims that it could take months to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, even if there is a deal with Iran. ABC's Martha Raddatz is in Washington.
Hey guys, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has fired dozens of senior leaders since he took office, from the chairman of the Joint Chiefs to the Chief of Staff of the Army, and now, even in the middle of a massive naval operation in the Strait of Hormuz, firing the Secretary of the Navy.
It was sudden, unexpected, and came without explanation. Navy Secretary John Phelan fired. A Pentagon statement on X saying that Phelan is departing the administration effective immediately, adding, "We wish him well in future endeavors." Phelan is a civilian political appointee, but there had been clashes with Hegseth in recent months. Hegseth's latest unexplained firing of a top Pentagon official comes as thousands of Navy personnel are blocking the Strait of Hormuz in a standoff with Iran now firing on 3 commercial ships and seizing 2 trying to transit the waterway. On Wednesday, Iranian state media releasing this dramatic footage showing an Iranian speedboat roaring towards a massive container ship with masked Iranian Revolutionary Guard, then boarding the ship, climbing up to the deck with long guns drawn and searching every compartment and cabin. The White House downplaying this clear act of defiance during what is supposed to be a ceasefire.
Does the president view that as a violation of the ceasefire? No, because these were not U.S. ships. These were not Israeli ships. These were 2 international vessels.
Today, despite the president's repeated threats to reopen the strait, cargo ships and tankers clustered outside.
Hold on.
The Strait of Hormuz unable to pass. This morning, Iran saying
what sense did that make with that she just said? It doesn't bother her because these weren't American ships and these wasn't Israeli ships. So therefore, all of the ships that did go through. Now, it has been reported in other media that up to 30, is it 28 or 38 ships have gone through the Strait of Hormuz. And quite a few Iranian tankers full of oil have gone through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, we hear they asked Caroline Leavitt, does it matter that these two ships went through? No, they're not doing anything to stop these ships from going in. The United States has absolutely no plan, and she wants you to know that it doesn't matter that they went through because they weren't Israel or American ships. Well, wouldn't you want Israeli ships to have free reign of the Strait of Hormuz? Wouldn't you want American ships to have free reign of the Strait of Hormuz? She said it doesn't matter that Iran let ships through. What sense does it make? I thought you wanted the Hormuz open to all ships. So because the ships weren't your Israeli, your bosses, or American ships, it doesn't matter that other ships go through. None of this make any sense. You know why it doesn't make any sense? Because it's senseless. Because we have senseless people in the military, in the White House, who is running this fiasco. You think you would want an Israeli ship to go through? She's not saying that these ships were turned around. No, these ships went through. Isn't that what we are aiming for? So wouldn't it have been good if an Israeli ship had the fucking audacity to come through the Strait of Hormuz and get through? That would be a good thing, Caroline. You're making no sense, Caroline. Go to the light, Caroline, because you're making 0 sense. Okay, so I'm gonna drop the link to this video in my chat because you heard Marsha Raddatz say that this guy over the Navy, he was a civilian. Understand that the guy who was in the Navy, he has never. Who was over the Navy, he himself has never did any service. He has never been a service member in any capacity. Did you know that? Did you know that he has never been in any branch of the armed services? But he was over the Navy. See, because when this happened, I talked about it. I said that this sounds crazy. How are you going to put this man over the U.S. Navy and he's never served anywhere, not even the Navy? So let's review who this man was. I remember there was a big brouhaha about people going to a fundraiser. Maybe it's in this story. Let me enlarge this so you can see who was over our Navy. Epstein files reveal John Phelan. John Phelan, yes, this is the guy we're speaking about. Why are we speaking about John Phelan and the Epstein files revealing something about John Phelan, huh? Epstein files reveal John Phelan and other high-profile figures tied to flight manifests, which means he has been on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. This is John Phelan, and you should see his lovely, lovely wife. You should see his trophy wife, a former Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. But she came up. She came up. But the only thing she has to do is roll over and service this. But hey, she's a champ. That girl's a champ. Okay, let's continue. Newly released Department of Justice document tied to Jeffrey Epstein have renewed scrutiny of prominent figures connected to the late sex offender, including John Phelan, who was named Secretary of the Navy in 2024. Phelan, a businessman and collector with no prior military service, came under attention after reports showed his name on flight manifests that appear to list passengers on at least 2 transatlantic trips with Epstein. Media outlets published logs that include Phelan alongside Epstein and other men, while several passengers' names remain redacted in the release pages. Whose names are they were supposed to redact in those pages? The name of the victims of Epstein. So while they have Phelan's name and other men on the plane, uh, several passengers' names remain redacted in the release pages. I wonder whose name. Now, this guy was some big art collector, and they said something was very peculiar about the kind of art that he collected. They said a lot of his art was kind of risque. Some of it, he did a lot of news, but some of it was even on the vulgar side of things. And he has his artwork. Hey, everything ain't for everyone. Especially in things like art. What strokes your boat is not going to stroke my boat. But they say that he has his artwork all over his homes. I think he has a home in Palm Beach, and he has a huge mansion in Aspen, Colorado. So this is what he was known for prior to getting the job of commanding our Navy forces. Before his appointment as the 79th Secretary of the Navy, Phelan was best known in press coverage for his art collection. Art World Reporting describes something of his holdings as sexually themed. For example, NetArt noted that a video installation displaying decades of Playboy centerfolds and his Aspen home features a mirrored floor by Walded Beasley that his wife said prompts strong reactions from guests. So, the other article that I read, the wife kind of implied that when people walked across this mirrored floor and realized that it was really a mirrored floor, it invoked some animalistic writhings and different type of behavior in these people, knowing that they could walk across the floor and everything under what they were wearing was visible. That's how I got it. That's how I got it. Okay, so she has been. Their homes has been in many magazines. Google them. I saw a picture of the living room with the mirrored floor. Just check them out. I think they have been in Architectural Digest too. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. The Aspen resident hosted a high-dollar Trump fundraiser in August of 2024. This is all I want to get to. I'm going to drop this in my link as well. The Aspen resident hosted a high-dollar Trump fundraiser in August of 2024. News report also noted that the plane Trump used to travel to the event had previously belonged to whom? It previously had belonged to Epstein, a detail the campaign said was coincidental. Documents published the following year include flight manifest listing Phelan's name on at least 2 transatlantic flights with Epstein's. What the documents show and what they don't. Outlets including CNN, The Washington Post reported on the flight logs and related documents. The Post coverage highlighted the presence of Jean-Luc Brunel, a model agent later accused of abuse who died in custody in France. Some news reports reference the aircraft nicknamed the Lolita Express, a labeled linked to allegations by Epstein accusers that young women and girls were sometimes aboard. Yeah, there you have. There you have it. I just, I don't know if anybody alerted you to that when they were doing this big brouhaha of the Navy guy who was fired. But I just wanted to remind you of what I told you about when they hired this credent. Okay, so this is in the description box under Navy firing. You can go and finish and peruse that article at your leisure. Okay, let me see what y'all saying. Let me see if I am getting any response to that. Coyote Heathen. Oh my god. Listen. Why you come up in here? Why Coyote Heathen? I don't know who you are, but you just fucking gave me tremors. You just took me back. You gave me nightmares for the past 2 or 3 nights. Goddamn Coyote. They fired him because he wanted to do things fairly, and that's not how they do it. No, ma'am. Israel is at war with Iran. Coyote Heathen. Do you know that a coyote almost got my little Saucy, my little dog, a couple of nights ago? Coyote Heathen, I am waiting for something for you. I got something real special coming for you. And it should be here today, Coyote Heathen. I'm waiting on some wolf pee. Yes, wolf pee. I'm waiting on some wolf pee. I'm sitting out on the patio, uh, uh, just chilling out, feeling the breeze and everything. And then my dog, it was about 10 at night. We're just sitting out there getting a little nice breeze. I had just taken them out. My other dog, he wanted to go back inside, so I let him inside. And me and my little Saucy, we're sitting outside. And then Saucy just got up all of a sudden, and then she turned around. And then I was like, well, what you looking at? And I turned around too. And I saw a big ass coyote. I mean, I've seen coyotes all my life in Southern California, but they are usually on the thin side, they're not as tall as German shepherds like this one was. I didn't know if that was a German shepherd about to attack both of us. I was almost scared to scream because I knew if I screamed, if it was a German shepherd, it was going to get both of us. But I took the chance and I screamed for Saucy to come, and then the coyote disappeared. You know how they disappear. So no, it was a coyote, girl. It looked like it was big as a German shepherd. You know how their hair, like a cat hair, stands on its ends when they try to make themselves look bigger. And girl, he was crouched down, and he had his mouth in that mean pose, like, oh, I'm ready for this little scrumptious meal, this 11-pound little white meal sitting up here. And I was shocked at how close that coyote was to us. See, that was the scary part. So, girl, I got so many lights out in the backyard with sensors that you stake in the ground, and they're supposed to scare off coyotes because they don't like bright lights, and they also have a heartbeat red color in the eyeballs for the lights. I don't know if any of that's gonna work, but I also I purchased some wolf urine. Now they say that the wolf urine, you just soak. They come with these little tabs like of felt, like square pieces of felt that have a hole in them, and you soak them in that, and then you put them in opportune places around your yard. You just stake them in the ground, and it will prevent them from coming around because they are a wolf is their predator, so they would think that their predator is around, so they won't come around. And periodically, you have to re-soak them in the urine. The urine comes in with a spray bottle. I don't think I want to spray it. They say don't open. They say don't open it in your house or you'll regret it. So I'm going to open it outside. I don't think I'm going to use the spray bottle because I'll be outside. So I don't want no blowback from any wind to blow no urine spray on me. So yeah, it's a whole big thing. And the fact that this person, Coyote Heathen, came in here reminded me about it. I'm glad I survived as well. Is that Trump pee? That probably would work better, but I would have to squeeze it out of his diapers to get it. Shit. Do you think I'll be able to collect enough out of his diapers? Yeah, so that's my coyote story. I'll let you guys know how it works because I'm very curious myself. Now, my neighbor said that he caught the coyote on his security camera, and he said, yeah, it was out here just sitting by my shed. And I was like, do you mind if I'm getting something, do you mind if I stick one of them by your shed? He was like, oh yeah, sure, go ahead. So I'm gonna have little wolf tabs, wolf pee tabs, sprinkled about the yard, and I hope it keeps them out. I really do. Oh, I say it was about 5 feet from me. About 5 feet. Very close. All right, so that is a story that I had to tell you about who's over the Navy. Let me see. There's a couple of more things I did want to share since I gave you that actual story. Um, Let me think about what else is it. Now, I love Kyle Kalinske. And, I gave you. Oh, wait a minute. Since we are on Epstein-ish stuff, let's talk about the latest that has come out about Ghislaine Maxwell. Do you know that Congress is considering giving her a pardon? There are Republicans who are actually considering giving Maxwell a pardon. So if you did not know this, let's get into Republicans. Strangely enough, after the Amanda lady who spent 20 years with her husband, who is a special envoy who actually went to Hungary with the vice president. I showed you him going to Hungary with the vice president. He is also in the Epstein files. He has been a friend with the president for over 20 some years. Now, I talked to you about him. I talked to you about his I don't think they were married. His longtime girlfriend and baby mama. I talked to you about them a while ago. So she has came out and she told Melania, bitch, don't talk about me. And I was here for you and I'm in ICE facility and you haven't done anything. And I was there for your parents even when we weren't cool and all of this. Oh yeah. She went in on Melania. And then days later, Melania came out and did her little speech. And during her little speech, this Amanda girl was typing more stuff like, "You better shut up. You don't know what I know, and I'll come out and I'll ruin your whole world. I will ruin your whole government, and I will bring it down." And she talked about her pedophile husband. Oh yeah, she put all of this in these messages that she was sending out to Melania's attention. So she was scheduled to do 2 interviews. Now she did an interview. Now what happened was This is how it started. It started. She's married. She left Zambini. This is the Trump associate, whose Trump has been knowing since the either late 80s or early 90s. That's when they were doing these. They were had model. What were they? They were managing models or whatever. Trump had his, and then he led that into the beauty contest. Zambini, he had one. Jeffrey Epstein had one. So they were working under the guise of managing models, different model houses. So that's where they met. Now, it's clear that they all knew Epstein. They all, interchanged their girls and stuff. They bought their modeling agencies together to do things together. So now Zambini, who is still with Trump to this day, going on trip as a government escort with the vice president. Now, he's been working with Trump all since he has met Trump, and Trump was the one who talked him into getting, you got to get out of the modeling thing. Come on, work with me in real estate. Up your game, basically. So he brought him to the White House. It was a rumor that Trump wanted to bring Jeffrey Epstein to the White House as well and give him one of these type of jobs. Like Jared Kushner has a special envoy to the White House and all of this. They don't have to go through background checks. They don't have to do anything but sit up and get paid and fly on trips and be of the motherfucking dumb motherfuckers that they are, and try to swindle money out of the Saudis when they allow that close contact to these powerful people. All they have to do is try to get people, sucker people into their business ventures and get rich from it, from being close to the presidency. This is the type of thing that they have to do. So Zampali, he still works for the president. So what happened was he and his girl broke up, and his girl and Melania were good friends. It's reported they may have been even best friends as far as girlfriends were. So she broke up with Zampali. She married a plastic surgeon, and then all of a sudden they moved to Florida. All of a sudden, after being with Zampali for over 20 years, all of a sudden, they get a knock on their door, and they are arrested by the FBI. And the charges are that their plastic surgery center was doing unauthorized work on people. So this is what they were charged with. So they go to jail. And while in jail for that, they don't know who reported this. It was just like somebody called in and reported it. Then after she's in jail for that, then somebody calls in and says, hey, she's an illegal immigrant. She doesn't have papers. Now, the funny thing about that is it was Paul Zampoli's job to make sure that the models got papers because many of them they knew were underage, and they were working in the United States as model. So this was his job to do, is to get the models papers. But strangely enough, the one that he was with for 20 years didn't have papers. And strangely enough, he knew that. And strangely enough, soon the jail people knew that she didn't have papers. And then she got detained by ICE. It was at that point that the bitch said, I will lose everything. I ain't got nothing to lose. She was in the middle of a custody dispute with what is his name? She was in a what I think his name may be Paulo. It may not be. She was in a custody dispute with the father of her child. It's my understanding that the child may be 17 now. the child may have been 16 when this started. I think the reports are saying that the child is now 17. So they were going through a custody dispute in the whole 9 yards. So she gets deported. She gets held in ice. And she said it was so disgusting. Water was all over the floor up to the ankles. Women were sick. They didn't get any type of health care. It was so unsanitary. Her whole body was infested with lice. So she self-deported. She was like, fuck this. Get me out of here. I will go back to Brazil. Now understand that in Brazil, she didn't come from nothing in Brazil. It is reported that her family had decent money. So when she went back to Brazil, she wasn't destitute. Now they're saying she's working, but she said that she said, Melania, you knew I was in ICE and you did nothing. Now you would think that you would honestly think that, hey, if your girlfriend got caught up in ICE and you knew she was in ICE, wouldn't you tell your husband, who is over the whole motherfucking United States government, to get her out of ICE? No, she said Melania didn't respond to her. There was no response that came from the Melania camp, and then she self-deported and she was back home. And when she got back home, it was on like popcorn. So this is where we are in the story. Now she was interviewed by two outlets, and she was signaling that everything would be put out in this interview that she was doing. But strangely enough, when the interview came out, we understood that her relationships with Trump and Melania had been decades long and all of this, but nothing really came out in the interview. However, if you are a paper, this is a reputable paper, they have to cross-reference the story that they're getting before they printed it. So none of this came out about Melania. So one of the guys from Status Quo, they contact the magazine, and with the knowledge of, hey, they may have had to check on some of this stuff before they printed it. And sure enough, they checked on some of the things, and they just would not print certain things that was said about Melania. So bottom line, her story that she wants to tell about Melania still hasn't come out. So with knowing all of that, I want to give you an update on that story. Okay, this is where we are. This is where the story left off. Now understand that they are also talking about giving Ghislaine Maxwell a pardon. They also are talking about giving Ghislaine Maxwell a pardon. Why is this coming up now? Why are other Congress people talking about it? But Comer, crazy Comer, cowardly Comer is acting like he don't want to do it. It's not a good idea. She did some bad things. Why are they talking about giving Ghislaine Maxwell a pardon now? After all of this brouhaha has come back up again, and now you have Amanda saying that she will tell everything she knows and all of this and all of that. Now suddenly, they're talking about giving Ghislaine Maxwell a pardon. And you know what else has happened suddenly? Ghislaine Maxwell, while in her cupcake jail that she got for interviewing with Todd Blanche, who is over the DOJ since Pam Bondi got fired, or who he was second in command. Now he's first in command of the DOJ. You know, the same Todd Blanche who was Donald Trump's attorney when he lost all of those 30-something cases that made him a felon. The lawyer who lost those cases for him, he's the head, the interim head of the Department of Justice. So now we know once he talked to Ghislaine, she got a cupcake prison with puppies and the warden being her secretary. The warden is doing her secretarial work and all types of shit in this prison that Todd Blanche got her in. So guess what Todd Blanche got recently? Since all of this Amanda is going to tell all has started. Todd Blanche got a special little USB drive sent from the prisons where Ghislaine Maxwell is. Actually, it was FedEx from Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell not only have commissary money, she got money to send packages FedEx from her prison cell. So let's. I think I have caught you up to all of what I know. So let's go to status quo. Hey, Leanna. Good to see you. Hit the like button, tap your screen twice, and sit back and enjoy the show. What's going on here? We're updating some stories in the news. We're do news over here. I try to give you information that you may not have heard on regular media. So let's get the update. This link will be in my description box under pardon. Okay.
USB FedEx it. Lots of pages. Video hardening. Delayed. I'm allowed to do it. Covering what the corporate media covers up. Hey, it's Jordan with Status Quo. Days after Melania Trump made that unexpected, shocking statement, barely knew Epstein. Ghislaine who? Convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell sent a mystery USB drive in the mail directly to Trump's Department of Justice. And oh, by the way, Republicans are now floating the idea of pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. Translated, Trump is floating the idea. Absolutely nothing to see here, folks. At the same time, the former Brazilian model, Amanda Ungaro, threatens to release all the dirt she has on Melania Trump, circa Jeffrey Epstein. This is from Scott McFarlane of Midas Touch. Justice Department has received a USB drive with filings by Ghislaine Maxwell, which included amended motion to vacate her criminal conviction and prison sentence. Trump administration prosecutor says arguments appear duplicative and meritless. Let me read this highlighted part. This is from the motion. Yesterday, the government received a FedEx envelope marked with a ship date of April 16th. So that was a week after Melania's statement, that contained a USB drive with the defendant's amended motion and exhibits. Upon an initial review, the amended motion seems to have some overlap with the defendant's claims in her original motion. Although the claims raised appear to be equally meritless, the arguments pressed by the defendant appear to be fact and document intensive, and thus the government is not in position to assess how much the new material is truly duplicative. She FedExed it to the U.S. attorney on a USB drive, a thumb drive.
So they acknowledge that they have it at the DOJ. They are trying to get you to believe, well, some of the dates are, they are overlapping the stuff that we already know from her. But is it stuff you already know? Could the dates be overlapping and she's telling you about shit that happened on those dates that you did not know? Do you find it curious that Ghislaine Maxwell didn't find the need to ship out a USB drive with all these hundreds of pages of information until a week after Melania came out, and then it was several days after Melania came out with that weird statement of everybody better leave me alone, stop talking about me, you ruining my good name. Do you understand that the story with Amanda Ungaro and all of the things that she was tweeting to Melania did not come out until 2 days later, and now mysteriously Ghislaine Maxwell got something to say, and now a pardon is being thrown around about Ghislaine Maxwell. Do you think that Todd Blanche, the former personal attorney for 4547, hasn't gone through all of the stuff that Ghislaine Maxwell has sent him, knowing that this Amanda Ungaro is on their ass and maybe about to pop the whole story? You think that they don't know what Ghislaine Maxwell sent them? Why you think they talking about pardon now? Now we know Amanda's baby daddy, who is still working in the administration, flying on planes with J.D. Vance, we know that he was the one who threw himself on the sword, as it were, to say that no, Trump did not meet Melania via Epstein. I was the one who introduced Melania to Trump. For some reason, they feel that this is something that they must not admit, that Epstein was the one who introduced Melania to Trump. So this Ongario, what is his name? I forget his name. The baby daddy, who's still in the administration, said he will go to court. He will go in front of Congress and say that he was the one who introduced these two people. Who gives a fuck? We know everybody in this administration is a liar. So, what is this gonna be? Your word against her word? Get the fuck out of my face with this dumb shit. Anyway, let's continue.
Shipped straight to prosecutors is unusual, and it's
Hold on. Oh God, don't do this.
much the new thumb drive shipped straight to prosecutors is unusual, and it suggests the filing was too large for paper. That means lots of pages or video or audio files. And I can tell you, I've been an investigative journalist for over a decade. I have dealt with thousands of confidential documents. Sometimes you have way too much paperwork and documents, important documents, that it's just too large paper trail to send in the mail, so you send a USB drive. Interestingly enough, as Ghislaine Maxwell sends this mystery USB drive with files that don't match the number of files she states, or the number of exhibits she states she's provided, all of a sudden Republicans are talking about being split on pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. Interesting timing, huh? From Politico, oversight members split over whether to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, committee chair says. Members of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee are divided over whether President Donald Trump should pardon Jeffrey Epstein's convicted co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell in exchange for her cooperation in the panel's Epstein investigation. Chair James Comer said in an interview Wednesday. Maxwell, who was deposed by the Oversight Committee as the sole convicted accomplice in the Epstein sex trafficking scheme, previously invoked her Fifth Amendment. When asked whether he believed it was a favorable deal to issue a pardon in return for Maxwell's testimony, Comer said, "A lot of people do." Quote, "My committee split on that," he added, declining to name who on the panel supported granting a pardon. "I don't speak for my committee." Comer himself wasn't in favor. Quote, "I think it looks bad," he said. "Honestly, other than Epstein, the worst person in this whole investigation is Maxwell. What's really going on here, and this happens all the time, reporters will get a little, nudge. Hey, you should ask so-and-so politician about this, i.e. they want this information out, but they don't want the politician to just volunteer it or bring it up themselves. So they give a little nudge to their lackey reporter, i.e. most reporters are sycophants in DC, especially corporate media reporters. That's why we are independent media, and I don't want to be in DC. Hey, ask about this. So James Comer is conveniently asked about, hey, any Republicans want to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? And he volunteers, well, actually, the Oversight Committee's split. Now, we know in the Trump era, this decade of hell, most Republicans don't go to the bathroom without Trump's permission. So there is no way in hell that James Comer is making this statement without Trump knowing about it and blessing it to float possible pardon. If you pop the bubble, this ain't Republicans floating it. This is Donald Trump floating it. After Ghislaine Maxwell sends a USB drive, what's on that USB drive, to the Trump DOJ, USB drives can have paper documents, can have video, audio. A week after Melania Trump goes out, gives a completely unexpected bombshell statement, didn't know Epstein, don't know Ghislaine Maxwell. after Amanda Ungaro, the former Brazilian model who was deported basically as a favor to Amanda Ungaro's ex by Trump's ICE, after Amanda Ungaro talked to the El País Spanish newspaper, and El País then reached out to the White House and Melania for comment, all of a sudden, Melania Trump goes out. I don't know, Epstein. She was trying to kill the story. And as Nina Burley, an investigative journalist, we did a video on this yesterday. We'll put the link in the description. She interviewed Amanda, and she said that Amanda did talk about Melania in that interview with El País, even though El País did not include it, that El País reached out to the White House and Melania for comment, that Melania basically made that statement, which was written by lawyers, to shut Amanda up.
It is 100% legal. It's a legal threat to whoever's going to speak out.
And that person is Amanda.
And that person is Amanda.
And then Amanda starts deleting tweets.
And then Amanda starts deleting tweets. Now, we understand that Melania did the same thing to the author, I think his name is Richard Wolff, who has done 4 books on Trump, and he was in the middle of interviewing and being around Jeffrey Epstein for a large amount of time because he was about Richard Wolff, because he was about to write a book about Epstein before his disappearance or death or whatever happened to Epstein. So Melania, this Wolff author was the one who said that he was told by Epstein that Epstein was the one who introduced Melania to Donald Trump. He also said, now understand that the little short guy who had the baby by Amanda that they just showed on the picture with Donald Trump, Palazzo or whatever his, what is his name? I keep forgetting his name. Now it is now Melania came to the United States to work with him. This is how who she came to America to work under his modeling agency. The guy who still is with Trump right now. Now Wolff, the author, he said that Jeffrey Epstein told him that he had physical relationships with Melania a year before she ever knew Trump. So that is a big contention also. So Melania didn't like Wolff going out there saying that she was Jeffrey Epstein's leftovers that he served up to Trump. So she gave him a letter. They called it a slap letter, where you tell the person, if you don't take back what you have said about me and apologize and stop talking about me, I'm going to sue you. And the price that she said she was going to sue him for was either $1 or $10 billion. And so usually when people get those letters, they stop talking because they know they don't have a lawyer that can come up against someone with so much money and such powerful lawyers, so they do what they're asked. So we don't know if in her and we know Donald Trump has done that to Rupert Murdoch, and Rupert Murdoch said "fuck you" about that signature in the birthday book that was put out by Rupert Murdoch's Washington Post. Donald Trump sent Rupert Murdoch a letter saying that if you don't retract that and say that it isn't true, I am going to sue you for either 10 or 15 billion dollars. Rupert Murdoch said no. They went into discovery for the case. In the meantime, the fucking picture came out in the media. And then what happened when they got to court? The judge threw that case out of court. But Rupert Murdoch had to defend that case up and until that judge threw that case out. Now, if you are just a Joe Smo or somebody with some little money compared to Trump money, you're going to be like, fuck that. these motherfuckers I ain't gonna sell everything I own, trying to answer all of the shit that they gonna be throwing in the court and shit that I need a lawyer to look over, and all of these filings that they're gonna be filing pre-trial motions and all of that shit. I ain't got that kind of money. Shit. Shit, all I got is a little Benz in the motherfucking garage and a piece of house that I own. I ain't selling all this to prove that this bitch is lying. So I don't know if that's why she started deleting messages. I don't even know which messages that she deleted. So this is what's going on. But Wolf, he said, no, you're not going to scare me. I'm not going to stop saying what I said about you, because these are the facts. And if you want to sue me, go ahead and sue you. But in the meantime, while you trying to figure it out, bitch, I'm going to sue you. So her letter to Wolf, the author of the threat to sue, he turned that around and he is suing her. And what happened to her? A threat to sue him? Nothing happened with it. She has not gone forward with a lawsuit against him. So he called her bluff, and all it was seemed to be was bluff. So there's that part that you need to know when you're trying to make sense out of all of this stuff. I'm just giving you the information that is available. So this is in my description box under the title "Pardon," and I think I'm gonna. I know that there's a possibility. Please hit the like button. Thank you. I know there's a possibility that I will have to go back and erase this. Um, uh, but I really think, that we really need to wake up. And also on tomorrow, on Friday, I am going to be going over the testimony Howard Lutnick gave today. These committee hearings are just something to watch. So I'm going to be going over the Howard Lutnick hearing. And if I have to delete this, I'm going to drop the link to this video just in case you like it yourself. I'm going to put it in the description box, and it will be the last link in my description box, and I will drop this link in the chat. But I just want to share this with you and see how it goes. Where is it? Where is it? Hold on. Oh, no. Before I let you go, remember the Palantir story that I told you about, that 22-point manifesto that Alex Karp, who I am not sure, I do not know or not know if he is on some heavy drugs. He put out from Palantir, he put out a 22-point manifesto. Now, I told you what I thought about this manifesto on yesterday. I told you that for me, none of these people in Palantir are trustworthy. I showed you many clips of this Alex Karp guy just being batshit crazy, in my opinion. So, one of my favorite commentators on news is from Secular Talk. So let's get into Kyle Kalinske understanding what that manifesto actually put him in the mind of. So let's get a second opinion on that Alex Karp manifesto. Alex Karp, the CEO of Palantir. Palantir, the agencies that have multiple defense contracts, have contracts with every agency, 3-letter agency in our government who wants to mass surveil you. Let's get into this. This will be under. I'm going to put this under secular talk.
Palantir. Palantir is basically an evil company. So you guys are aware of Palantir. Palantir is basically an evil company that can most accurately be described as Skynet. Skynet from the Terminator series. Their laundry list of crimes is endless. There's a lot of evidence to support the idea that they were helping with the genocide in Gaza. They're involved with AI weapons. They're involved with mass surveillance and illegal spying, literally creating a blackmail file on the American people. We covered the story of one of the founders who basically said, like, we created Palantir to kill leftists. I'm not even kidding. You know, we covered that when that dropped. I forget the guy's name who said it, but one of the other co-founders of Palantir. And of course, you know, Peter Thiel, this is his baby. Peter Thiel is a very, very disturbing guy. Literally, fundamentally anti-human. That's his ideology. That's his mindset. That's his philosophy. It's an anti-human perspective that says we basically...
And basically, I showed that to you on yesterday. He believes that for humans, for humanity to survive, it needs to be fused with some technology. And I have shown you many times this resort that Peter Thiel has in Honduras, where only the elite can go, where they are in fact doing all of these tests that they can't do in the United States because they can't get the approval to do these tests in the United States. So they are up there in Honduras implanting all of this shit, is trying to extend their lives to infinity, infinite life cycles, infinity, or infinity, whichever one. They're trying to live forever. All right. So I showed you that. If you're unaware of this, get aware of this. He couldn't answer if humanity should survive. And his answer after the long pregnant pause was if it was merged with technology. He also said that he's figured out a way that democracy is bad, and because it takes too long for you to get everybody on the same page with you and to vote with you, and therefore people who are against technology are basically useless. Is his point? Let's continue.
Need to be replaced by AI, by machines that anti-human. That's his ideology. That's his mindset. That's his philosophy. It's an anti-human perspective that says we basically need to be replaced by AI, by machines. That that humans are just too flawed and we shouldn't continue as we are. I mean, he was asked directly, like, should the human species continue? And he basically shit the bed and stuttered and was like, I don't know. I guess. It was very, very disturbing. Everybody saw that interview with Ross Douthat, and it did not go well for Peter Thiel. Well, there's this guy named Alex Karp who helps run Palantir. He's that guy that's got the goofy ass crazy hair and he never sits still. And it looks like he does a ridiculous amount of cocaine. And then when he was called out on clearly doing cocaine, he does this whole like, oh no, I'm just like autistic or something. He tries to, mask it behind this idea of like, I'm just an eccentric genius or something like that. Just humiliating. Well, anyway, that guy is incredibly disturbing. And like I said, seems to be a rampant drug addict. Well, guess what? He basically took some time to write a fucking manifesto, a screed that he thought the world should see. Okay? We're going to go through it here. And all I'm going to say is prepare yourselves. Because here you have a genuinely evil, disturbing company that should not exist. That's all about fucking AI weaponry and spying on innocent people and murder. It's like Murder Incorporated. No disrespect to Ja Rule, right? But you get the point. Well, listen to what he says here. This is crazy. Because we get asked a lot, the technological republic in brief. Number one, Silicon Valley owes a moral debt to the country that made its rise possible. The engineering elite of Silicon Valley has an affirmative obligation
Hold on. I Okay, hold on. I don't know what is going on. I'll try to reboot this.
So you guys are aware of
Okay.
Palantir. Palantir is basically an evil company that can most accurately be described. His baby, Peter Thiel, is a very, very disturbing guy. Literally, fundamentally anti-human. That's his ideology.
There is
Oh,
brand new
Lord.
reporting from the New York.
So you guys are aware of
One more time.
Palantir Thiel is a very, very disturbing guy. Literally, fundamentally anti-human. That's his ideology. That's his mindset. That's his philosophy. It's an anti-human perspective that says we basically need to be replaced by AI, by machines. That that humans are just too flawed and we shouldn't continue as we are. I mean, he was asked directly, like, should the human species continue? And he basically shit the bed and stuttered and was like, well, I don't know. I guess. It was very, very disturbing. Everybody saw that interview with Ross Douthat, and it did not go well for Peter Thiel. Well, there's this guy named Alex Karp who helps run Palantir. He's that guy that's got the goofy-ass crazy hair, and he never sits still, and it looks like he does a ridiculous amount of cocaine. And then when he was called out on clearly doing cocaine, he does this whole like, oh, no, I'm just like autistic or something. Like he tries to, mask it behind this idea of like, I'm just an eccentric.
Now, yesterday when I talked to you, what did I ask you about all of these Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, who is a admitted ketamine user and a weed smoker, and I gave you a description of the mannerism of this carp guy, and all of these people have access to everything about you and your life that was given to them by your government against no matter what you thought or felt about it. And the question that I wanted to know is, could these people even pass drug tests? I asked you that yesterday. Are these people who can't even pass a drug test who have been given the king to the American kingdom? Remember I asked you that? I asked you that because some shit is kind of striking about these people.
Genius or something like that. Just humiliating. Well, anyway, that guy is incredibly disturbing. And like I said, seems to be a rampant drug addict. Well, guess what? He basically took some time to write a fucking manifesto, a screed that he thought the world should see. Okay? We're going to go through it here. And all I'm going to say is prepare yourselves. Because here you have a genuinely evil, disturbing company that should not exist. That's all about fucking AI weaponry and spying on innocent people and murder. It's like Murder Incorporated. No disrespect to Ja Rule, right? But you get the point. Well, listen to what he says here. This is crazy. Because we get asked a lot, the technological republic in brief. Number one, Silicon Valley owes a moral debt to the country that made its rise possible. The engineering elite of Silicon Valley has an affirmative obligation to participate in the defense of the nation. So that's them trying to justify doing AI weapons. They're trying to say, oh, it's like the moral thing to do to create these machines of death. Okay, they continue. Number two, we must rebel against the tyranny of the apps. What? Is the iPhone our greatest creative, if not crowning achievement as a civilization? The object has changed our lives, but it may also now be limiting and constraining our sense of the possible. Hey, bitch, you're also a tech company. What the fuck are you talking about? All right, they continue. Free email is not enough. The decadence of a culture or civilization, and indeed its ruling class, will be forgiven only if that culture is capable of delivering economic growth and security for the public. By the way, you can tell that the person who wrote this, it's cocaine thinking. It's like grandiose cocaine thinking. You're on cocaine, you think you have the most brilliant idea ever, and then you come back to it, the next morning when you're not high, and you go, what the fuck is this fucking babble? Number four, the limits of soft power, of soaring rhetoric alone, have been exposed. The ability of free and democratic societies to prevail requires something more than moral appeals. It requires hard power, and hard power in this century will be built on software. Now we're getting demonic, right? soft power isn't enough. We need hard power. We need war. We need death. That's what we need. And what they're saying is we build the weapons of death. We build the AI weapons of death. So you kind of need us. All right, they continue. The question is not whether AI weapons will be built. It is who will build them and for what purpose. Our adversaries will not pause to indulge in theatrical debates about the merits of developing technologies with critical military and national security applications.
We're not gonna just question it. We're just gonna accept everything. We're not gonna question it. It's just gonna be okay. Because what they're not telling you, they don't give a fuck if you question it. Why should they give a fuck if you question it? They're going to get their permission from your government, so you are not going to have the right to question it. They're not concerned about you as a normal citizen questioning what AI is doing, because what did your president tell you? That no state can regulate AI. Why would they question it? Why would they think that you would have the authority to question it if your state representatives don't have the right to limit it? Let's be real clear.
They will proceed. In other words, hey, China's going to do it anyway. There's others that are going to do these incredibly immoral, unethical, disturbing things, so we need to do it too. That's literally what they're saying here. All right, number 6. National service should be a universal duty. What? We should, as a society, consider moving away from an all-volunteer force and only fight the next war if everyone shares in the risk and the cost. You have got to be fucking kidding.
Says the people who have never signed up, fought a war, done anything. They haven't even fought to make their own country better. These are immigrants to the United States. All of these immigrants that have so much to say that is wrong with the United States. Can you go back and save Cuba because Castro stole it from us? Well, motherfucker, how come you didn't stay in your motherfucking country and fight for your own country? Now you want us to go fight and you won't fight for yourself, motherfuckers. But y'all always are the ones who get rich in the United States. And now talking about some shared sacrifice. And you ain't sacrificed shit. Our ancestors were the ones who sacrificed to build this country, where they are always trying to make sure we can't get ahead. Let's continue.
Modern day Skynet, the AI machine of death creators, the universal fucking blackmail surveillance network, they're now coming out saying everybody should be forced to go fight and die for Israel. Yes, that's what needs to happen. Yes. Are you fucking kidding me? A fucking draft? Do you have any idea how quickly I would be out this bitch if there was a draft? So you guys are aware of Palantir. Thoughts on a draft, right? Like, CVS is opposed to a draft. Like, why the fuck would I care? You're a soulless corporation that profits off of misery.
I keep messing this up. I apologize.
People to be sent there to fucking die. For what? For what? For your fucking profits? For Palantir's profits? Go fuck yourself. By the way, the nerve. Why the fuck should then serve this country? Are you kidding me? We waged an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us. They were no threat to us whatsoever. They had agreed to our strictest requirements on their enriched uranium just a couple hours before we attacked them. Okay? We triple tapped a girls' school. We bombed schools. We bombed hospitals. We bombed bridges. We bombed power plants. We bombed a pharmaceutical company. We bombed steel plants. Trump's threatening to have, quote, a whole civilization die. And I'm so, we're the good guys? Why? Why? How? How the fuck are we the good guys? You need to, I know your actions matter. And you want to force innocent men to be, presumably men. I don't know if they also want women to go, but like, you want innocent people to be sent there to fucking die. For what? For what? For your fucking profits? For Palantir's profits? Go fuck yourself. By the way, the nerve. Why the fuck should I care about your thoughts on a draft? Like, any more than I would care about fucking Burger King's thoughts on a draft, right? Like CVS is opposed to a draft. Like, why the fuck would I care? You're a soulless corporation that profits off of misery and death and violations of privacy. Why should I give a single solitary shit what the fuck you think about anything? Right? Nobody elected you. Nobody supports you. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with these people? Oh my God, bro. I'm sorry. We need to get to the point where if a company is viewed as against the actual national interest, you should be able to dissolve that bitch, right? Palantir should be fucking dissolved. That's what should happen. All right, we're not done yet, though. They say, number 7, if a U.S. Marine asks for a better rifle, we should build it. And the same goes for software. We should, as a country, be capable of continuing a debate about the appropriateness of military action abroad while remaining unflinching in our commitment to those we have asked to step into harm's way. I don't know what this means other than, hey, you really probably shouldn't debate this. You should shut the fuck up and fall in line, is the subtext of that, I believe. Number 8, public servants need not be our priests. Any business that compensated its employees in the way that the federal government compensated public servants would struggle to survive. Number 9, we should show far more grace towards those who have subjected themselves to public life. The eradication of any space for forgiveness, a jettisoning of any tolerance for complexities and contradictions of the human psyche, may leave us with a cast of characters as at the helm we will grow to regret. Is he just saying, like, stop criticizing politicians? Because that's kind of what I'm getting out of this. And is it, by extension, shut the fuck up, stop criticizing Trump, stop criticizing Netanyahu? Is that what this is? We should show far more grace to those who have subjected themselves to public life. How about they should show far more grace to the American people who are getting perpetually and routinely fucked with a spiky metal bat by them? How about that? How about they should actually represent us and give us universal health care and free college and a living wage, and they should end the wars, and they should do a Green New Deal, and they should do universal daycare, and they should tax the rich? How about that? Why do we have to show them grace when they're fucking everything up, but they don't have to show us grace and actually do their jobs and represent us? Number 10, the psychologicalization of modern politics is leading us astray. Again, you could tell this guy's high on cocaine. This is navel-gazing bullshit. Those who look to the political arena to nourish their soul and sense of self, who rely too heavily on their internal life, finding expression in people they may never meet, will be left disappointed. Number 11, our society has grown too eager to hasten and is often gleeful at the demise of its enemies. What? The vanquishing of an opponent is a moment to pause, not rejoice. Number 12, the atomic age is ending. One age of deterrence, the atomic age, is ending, and a new era of deterrence built on AI is set to begin. Number 13, no other country in the history of the world has advanced progressive values more than this one, says the mass surveillance network that builds AI machines of death. The United States is far from perfect, but it is easy to forget how much more opportunity exists in this country for those who are not hereditary elites than in any other nation on the planet. This is just total bullshit. We do not have free healthcare in this country. We do not have free college in this country. We rank very low, actually, when it comes to developed countries on, climbing the economic ladder on this notion that we typically would call the American dream. We actually rank very low on that in developed countries. This is just total horseshit.
We also rank very low on healthcare outcomes, and we spend the most money on healthcare. And we are the most sick people in developed countries. We also are low on that.
In many ways, there's much less opportunity that exists here. I mean, the fact that you have to pay health insurance companies as just a parasite middleman who fucking deny your claims anyway. I mean, it's literally like a scam. The insurance industry is like a scam in this country.
And that's why we are the sickest people in the of the most developed countries. Read.
Like half the country can't afford a $500 emergency. How the fuck can you say that, oh, this country is packed with opportunity? Like, bitch, those days have long passed us by. We are declining as a civilization rapidly. And you're just pretending like that's not the case. It's humiliating. All right, we're almost done. Number 14, American power has made possible an extraordinarily long peace. Too many have forgotten or perhaps taken for granted that nearly a century of some version of peace has prevailed in the world without a great power military conflict. At least 3 generations, billions of people and their children, and now grandchildren, have never known a world war. So they're saying, oh, America, it's because of America, a strong America, that we have peace. Yeah, say that to the people in all of the countries that we fucking bombed and attacked and did regime change in. No, that's not true. In the imperial core, that's relatively true. But outside of the imperial core, that is not at all true. Okay,
And that's exactly what I was saying on yesterday. Tell that to the people in Vietnam, on through Iraq. Afghanistan, the Sudan, Somalia, Venezuela. Tell that to all of these people. Who Obama did. The attack that Obama did, Syria. Tell that to all of these people who we've attacked. When Obama attacked Gaddafi, tell that to all of these countries. I'm talking about peace. Tell that to the
people of Iraq.
Tell that to the Palestinians, who we gave weapons to and set down on our fucking hands as they were genocide.
Go talk to the people of Libya. Go talk to the people of
Libya. Yes, Libya.
Somalia. Go talk to the people of Yemen. Go talk to people in South America who we routinely fucked over in the Cold War. Like, this is just fucking total navel-gazing horseshit. Number 15, the post-war neutering of Germany and Japan must be undone. The defanging of Germany was an overcorrection for which Europe is now paying a heavy price. Wow. It's kind of hard to read this as anything other than the modern-day Nazi perspective. Right? It's kind of hard to read.
It's kind of impossible to read that without getting that. Oh, we were too hard on the Nazis, though. Didn't I tell y'all that yesterday? See, the only reason I play other news clips is because people try to play me off like I don't know what I'm talking about. But see, the reason why they want to say that I don't know what I'm talking about is because they're so stupid that they don't know what I'm talking about. I already know. I know what I'm talking about. But some of you raccoons out there, y'all need to hear it from a palm-colored face before you realize that, oh, that really could be true. Because you're dumb.
Read this as anything other than that. Oh, we should have never taken the arms away from Germany and Japan. Well, they were the fascist countries that were against us in World War II. All right, number 16. We should applaud those who attempt to build where the market has failed. The culture almost snickers at Musk's interest in grand narrative. Oh my God, they're sucking off Elon Musk as if billionaires ought to simply stay in their lane of enriching themselves. That's what he's doing. Any curiosity or genuine interest in the value of what has created is essentially dismissed or perhaps lurks from beneath a thinly veiled scorn. No, the reason why people hate Elon Musk is because he illegally cut pediatric cancer research and Meals on Wheels. And he destroyed everything good about our government, like the CFPB, as he was walking around goose-stepping and zig-heiling, and he's reached...
Did I not tell you all of this on yesterday? Did I not bring up the CFPB? Did I not bring up the hand signals that he did on the election? I mean, if anybody read this and did not understand the time that we are living in, not connecting the ignorance of this speech that comes from this person who has so much power over life and death in the United States, and you didn't see this by reading this crap, I don't know what to tell you. Well, I just tell you what I see when I read that crap. I don't know what to tell you.
Tweeting Nazis on a fucking daily basis, and he's taking $38 billion in U.S. tax money for like 13 rockets that instantly explode when they get up in space. The reason we...
Did I not tell you about these welfare queens sitting up here telling you what you do wrong? What's wrong with you? As they sit up and shit off your tax dollars with these government contracts that they are given for the shit that they put out. We got that driving car yet? We got that driving taxi yet? No, they have suspended even the hope of getting this driving taxi. Did you hear that? I guess since that train almost ran over that driving taxi that went past the guardrails and with a person in the car, went past the guardrails and the train and the car barely made it across the track intact. They've suspended this lie that he's been telling since the 2000 12, 13.
Hate him is because he's a fraud. He's a con man. He's a liar. He does vaporware like nobody's business. But this guy also, Alex Karp, is also a fucking liar and a con man. So of course he would defend his fellow liar and con man, fucking Elon Musk. Jesus Christ. All right, let me speed this bitch up. I'm so sick of this guy. Number 17, Silicon Valley must play a role in addressing violent crime. What the fuck are you talking? Oh, so now we're doing violent crime fear mongering? Jesus Christ. Number 18, the ruthless exposure of the private lives of public figures drives far too much talent away from government service. Motherfucker, you people are keeping a blackmail data file on everybody, and you're talking about how the ruthless exposure of private lives of public figures is bad? Like, that's your whole business model. Number 19, the caution in public life that we unwittingly encourage is corrosive. Those who say nothing wrong often say nothing much at all. Just cocaine babbling here. Number 20, the pervasive intolerance of religious belief in certain circles must be resisted. The elite's intolerance of religious beliefs, what are you talking about? It's perhaps one of the most telling signs that his political project constitute a less open intellectual movement than many within it would claim. Palantir is saying that there's elite intolerance of religious beliefs. Are you kidding me? There's an over-religiosity amongst elites. Trump is reading fucking Bible verses from the White House. What are you talking about? He's got like Paula White probably on her knees in the White House and her hand on him fucking praying for him with all the other Franklin Graham and all the other psychopaths. What are you talking about? Mike Huckabee is the ambassador to Israel, and he's saying that, in the Bible, Israel could have all the Middle East, so they should have all the Middle East. How are you saying that, we're not religious enough? We're like atheist fundamentalists. What the fuck is wrong with you? What world are you living?
Pete Cagbreath is doing the press conferences reading the Samuel L. Jackson verses of Leviticus from the Bible.
Living in. Number 21, some cultures have profound vital advances. Others remain dysfunctional and regressive. All cultures are now equal. Criticism and value judgments are forbidden. Yet this new dogma glosses over the fact that certain cultures, and indeed subcultures, have produced wonders. Others have proven middling and worse, regressive and harmful. So now comes the Zig Hyland and the goose stepping in your own respect. Literally doing the we're not actually equal as people. Don't be ridiculous. No, some people are better than other people. Like us, the AI machine of death creating blackmail data network. We're special. We're special. America's special. Israel's special. When we genocide you, it's because we're the good guys and you're the bad guys and your culture is inferior. That's what they're getting at here. That's exactly what this is. Number 22, we must resist the shallow temptation of a vacant and hollow pluralism. We in America and more broadly the West have for the past half century resisted defining national cultures in the name of inclusivity. But inclusion into what? So they say we must resist the shallow temptation of a vacant and hollow
pluralism. You cannot be added. You don't count. No, we will not include you in your race. This is what they're saying. So I just wanted you to hear a different perspective, and I must interrupt to give you mine so I can play this different perspective. I was sick of reading it too when I got to about 0.7 as well, 22 points.
Pluralism. In other words, pluralism is bad. Multiculturalism is bad. They want to be homogenous is what that means. They want to be maybe one religion, one ethnicity in the country. Here you have nominally a fucking tech company that's literally out there going, we're not all equal. Some people are better than other people. And fuck multiculturalism, fuck pluralism, fuck equality. Yes, us, the country that makes the machines of death and creates blackmail data files on everybody and is trying to infiltrate you in every element of your life. Yes, us, modern day Skynet. Deep down, we like Adolf Hitler. And we're Nazis. And we're fascists. That's what this is. That's what this is. I've never seen something more telling than this. And by the way, the asshole Alex Karp, who did too much cocaine, is giving away the game here. He's giving away what Palantir is really about. Just like, the guy's name was Joe Lonsdale, I think. Just like he said, Palantir is about killing leftists. Never in my wildest imagination could I have thought that these people could be this openly evil and destructive and disturbing. And yet here we are. That's exactly what they are. These people should be nowhere near power. I don't care who the fuck the next Democratic president needs to fucking destroy this company and launch him into the fucking sun. I mean, root and stem, you need to fucking pull these bitches out and put them in the dustbin of history. They cannot and should not be allowed to amass any fucking power This is completely and utterly unacceptable. These people will be the end of us. They will be the death of us.
The link is in my description box under I concur 100%. If you haven't gone over to check out Kyle Kalinske, he is doing a story that I did today. I found that it was necessary to let you hear all 22 points of the bullshit that is coming out of the most powerful contractor that we have in our Department of Defense and all other agencies, CIA, FBI, DMV, IRS, yes, all of the government agencies. Hey, Outspoken One. Hey, Terry P4. Hey, Abula. I think it's Abala Ra. Hey, Ra. It is always good to see you join me. I appreciate your support. Now, this I may have to come back and delete this from my page. I'm going to end with this. After you hear this, these people who they have put in power in our government, I hope you go back and if you have to go back and see the beginning of this live, please go back and check out this live because it's a lot going on, and I just really try to give you information that may help you understand the shit that they are trying to sneak in on you. While you looking at drunks and all of this stuff, all of this shit may be entertaining. It may good to see a asshole, somebody who showed their ass at these committee hearings that I've shown on my channel. It is also it may feel good to see them get their just deserves, but at the same time, I want you to stay woke. See, this stay woke thing. Why do you think that for the past 3 or so years that they have been championing against being woke? How do you get a understanding that being woke is something bad? But they understand what being woke is. The same thing that it always meant to you. When they told you to stay woke, that means keep your wits about you, keep your head on the swivel, understand what's going on around you. And they have demonized the true meaning of being woke. In its original capacity, stay woke. And that means wake up. Wake up. Oh, what movie was that? Braveheart. Wake up, William. William, wake up. It's no time for sleep. It's time for war. Remember in Braveheart, when he was asleep and his wife, who had passed away, came to him in a dream and told him what? Wake up. Now, this war on woke, they want you to sleep on the things that they are doing. And this is why I did the stories that I did today. And I hope if you are late coming to the show, I hope you go through the show, check out the information that I'm giving. I am just trying to give you information that will help you along your way that you may not have seen in your mass media. So as they continue, as they are on 24 hours a day and cover about 3 or 4 of the same stories on every show, every hour on every show, the same stories for mass media to be so large. Do you understand how small it is? Do you ever pay attention how small a news network that is on 24/7, they telling you the same story on the next show that they told you on the last show that they told you the hour before. These same stories recirculate all day under the guise of informing the public or giving the public news. So I just want to give you some information. And I'm going to end with this because I hope America just start waking up. I really hope that we as a country just stop sleeping and wake the fuck up. So that's all that I have. I hope you enjoy the remainder of your day. I will be back tomorrow at my regular time. I had to take my dog out to get her shots and his shots. So I apologize that I couldn't get here, but I'm here now. So America, this would be the link. I'm going to link this in the chat, and I'm going to link it, the last link, in my description box. I think I'll call it Wake Up America. And have a good day. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.
From across the ocean, I watch your screens glow at night.
Hold on. I have it on double speed.
From across the ocean, I watch your screens glow at night. A nation built on fire, the sun will dim your light. I don't hate you people, I never did, I swear. But the hand that waves your flag doesn't know you're there. So listen close, America. This song is yours to keep. The world is wide awake now, while you're still fast asleep.
Wake up, America.
Open your
eyes. Your biggest enemy wears your nation's disguise. They spend your children's future on wars you never chose.
Wake up.
Wake up, America. Everybody knows. Wake up.
The truth is on the wall.
The truth is on the wall.
They built themselves a castle while they let me tell you something that your textbook skipped the page on. The man behind the curtain keeps the light and keeps the stage on. He shakes your hand on camera, then signs the deal at midnight. Sells your job to shadows while he tells you that it's all right. There's a building full of suits who never missed a single meal. Voting on your hunger, never knowing how you feel. They send your sons to deserts with a flag and a speech, then cut the veterans' benefits when they finally back in reach. Your water bills are rising, but the pipelines flow for free for the ones who wrote the laws that even judges cannot see. A child in the middle of your country goes to bed without a light, but a billion disappears before the cameras say goodnight. They tell you fear the outside world, keep looking over there. Point your anger at a stranger so you never stop to stare at the ones inside the mansion, at the ones who hold the pen, writing laws at 3 a.m. then writing them again.
America, open your eyes. Your biggest enemy wears your nation's disguise. They spend your children's future on wars you never chose.
Wake up.
Wake up, America. Everybody knows. Wake up.
The truth is on the wall.
The truth is on the wall.
They built themselves
a castle
while they now I come from a place where they silence us in the street. When speaking what you're feeling means the boots are on your feet. But here's the irony, America, you have a voice of voter stage, yet the lion in your chest is locked inside a cage. They flood your phones with noise so you never hear the signal. Every scandal is a distraction, every headline made to kindle outrage about the surface while the structure stays intact. They want you left and right so you never just look back. Look back at every promise, count the ones they kept. Look back at every dollar, trace the path that crept up through charity foundations, through the lobbied halls of power. Your democracy's a garden, but somebody ate the flower. You got the blood of revolutionaries in your veins, the ones who crossed the winter ice and broke the tyrant's chains. So how did you forget that you were never meant to kneel? The system only works when the people make it real.
America, open your eyes. Your biggest enemy wears your nation's disguise. They spend your children's future on wars you never chose.
Wake up.
Wake up, America. Everybody knows. Wake up, wake
truth is on the wall.
The truth is on the wall.
They built themselves
a castle while they watch you fall.
I'm not your enemy, America. I'm just a mirror. You forgot to look in. From Tehran to Texas, people bleed the same color. The only war worth fighting is the one within your system. So wake up. Not for me.
Not for politics.
Wake up.
For your children.